Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Your Health. Pamela and I are here, and we're going to talk about detoxing, how to take care of your body. And Pamela, you mentioned something about talking about cancers. Is that right, or did I misunderstand?
Talking about myocarditis and full body detoxes, but we can talk about cancer if you want to.
Okay, whatever we have time for. I know you're juggling a lot at home, but you've put together some good advice for us today. So you take it from here. What are you going to show us, and what is important for us to know today?
Okay. As you know, my house has had a revolving door on it for the past 5 years, basically. I mean, I started my nursing business back in 2015, and then that all turned upside down when COVID hit. So just give you a little scan of what we're talking about here today. So I pulled all this stuff out. So if anybody has any questions, I can go over anything people have questions about. But just to give you an idea, when COVID hit and I was running my own nursing business here in the community, all of a sudden the whole world started calling me and wanted me to help them. So, and I was already hitting the ground running with taking care of my patients. And I was already doing a lot of research on detoxing the natural way. And I was using food as medicine to reverse illnesses before COVID even happened. So I feel like I had a pretty good jump start on natural healing and whatnot. And, I've met a lot of these doctors, as you have, gone to a lot of reawakening tours, a lot of conferences, the FLCCC. I worked with them for a few years. I've been following Dr. Ed Group and Dr. Artis and Dr. Tenpenny and, you name it in the health censored world.
Yeah.
Probably gotten to know the majority of them through what we've been doing. So it's been an amazing adventure. We've learned a lot. And thank God we have some things that have been released now.
Oh, Pamela's on her phone today. And we may experience some interruptions.
Yes, and I'm taking care of my 91-year-old mother-in-law. I have someone up there hopefully can tend to her needs today, but she's been in around the clock need lately, so I haven't been able to structure anything clear for you, but I'm happy to answer any questions, and Kathryn's agreed to help guide me through any questions that she sees coming up on the screen, and I'll be happy to clarify anything she brings up. So just so you know, maybe a week or two ago, I released something called a full body detox. I think I sent you the link, Kathryn. And I focused on the full body detox as natural as possible. And the doctor that I feel has the best grasp on that is Dr. Ed Group. He's right now in Croatia. If anybody's watching their TikTok, they might see stuff coming up from Dr. Group if they're delving in the medical world. But the man is genius. He's been doing this for more than 30 years. He works with RFK in DC. He also travels to Mar-a-Lago. So he's got an inside view on what's going on as far as the health world goes. And as we all know, RFK, Macri, and Bhattacharya all have their hands full. I mean, they're trying to fix the FDA, the NIH, the CDC. Under RFK falls the umbrella of all these things. But as you know, they've been infested with some not so savory people.
Well, and Pamela, that brings up the USDA as well.
Yes, absolutely.
The U.S. Drug Administration, because I understand, I heard one of our congressmen, I can't remember who it is, you might know, has just proposed a repeal or reveal the appeal bill or something like that. And we're all supposed to reach out to our congressmen and ask them to vote on that, because Bill Gates, with his poison wax called appeal, is
Oh yeah.
The USDA found a loophole that they can accept his stuff and pour it over even organic vegetables.
They can label it organic, yes.
Yeah, and then they what they're doing is they claim that, oh, it'll help the fruit or vegetable last longer. Yes, but it is a wax that does not come off, and even when you wash it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Yes, that's right.
It doesn't come off. So it's like, this is insane. There's poison in it, and he keeps it quiet on the poisonous stuff. And so we all need to reach out to our congressmen or women and say, hey, we want this, reveal this appeal, reveal appeal, or appeal reveal act, something like that. They'll know what you're talking about.
And it's APEL, APEEL.
Mm-hmm.
And they can label it organic. But the thing is, in the grocery stores, and I've seen this on the stages at the conferences, doctors or somebody will come out and they'll show you 2 tomatoes. They look exactly the same. They'll show you this beautiful red tomato from the garden. They'll show you a beautiful red tomato from the local grocery store. And they'll say, this tomato has 27 times the nutrients in it. This one you have to eat 27 of to get the same nutrients from this one. And what it is this is a genetically modified version of it. And there aren't many nutrients in the genetically modified fruit and vegetables that you're finding in the stores. So that's a big problem that we have. You can't just look for organic. It has to be non-GMO as well. Organic just means they're going to limit the chemicals and whatnot, including APEL. But, in his case, of course, he's got more money than anybody in the world, I guess, so he can get away with it. But yeah, you're right. We have to appeal APEL.
Yes. And so if you're listening right now, please, or later, reach out to your Congress representative and tell them to pass that bill, because we need to know what's in it. If they're just going to secretly put it on our food, it would be good if we knew what kind of toxins are in it, because Bill Gates is one of these people who believes in population control and depopulation.
And it's all about money too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And money.
And
we're going to talk about him in a while too when we get to products.
Yeah, well, if you see him on stage, TED Talk, he says if we do a really good job with vaccines, we can bring the population way down, something to that effect.
He said up to 10%. Yes, the number he gave was 10%.
Yeah,
we can lower the population.
Yeah, the guy's insane. He doesn't care about humanity at all.
No, but he's an atheist. So to him, the more money you have, that makes you a god. So, that's their idol.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, okay. So Ed Group is a fantastic doctor. He is amazing. There are so many amazing doctors out there that are standing for the right things, and they actually do care about humanity.
Exactly.
So I would suggest what is his website? How do people find him?
It's globalhealing.com, or Global Healing Institute is where he can train people to be natural health advocates and instructors and whatnot.
Okay.
But the amazing thing about him, not only does he work with the administration, he was working with RFK and the administration back in 2020, 2021, when they all of a sudden got booted out the door and they brought in Fauci and Birx. It was a crazy little bait and switch there. And then he goes on to explain that there was a big meeting between the Trump administration at the time and Gates, and they don't know what happened, but something flipped the whole thing upside down.
That's really awful. Now, I just want everyone to understand, what is her name?
Birx. Yeah,
Deborah Birx is a military, okay?
Mm-hmm.
She's a military person, and she is involved in military operations.
Now, that doesn't make all military bad, because I'm a military spouse of almost 30 years.
And I'm a military daughter, okay? I'm an Army brat. So you're right. I'm glad you brought that up. But she is dirty.
She's with the military industrial complex. That's
yes.
There's so many patents and records, and so much trail that Tom Renz and the folks have followed. The attorney Tom Renz and Lee Dundas, top attorneys that are trying to take on all the corruption in the medical realm, I guess you could say, of what Fauci and the team have done to hurt us, to hurt our children, and to hurt our environment. But the military is very, very much a part of it.
Mm-hmm. And if you follow her career, she's always been in positions to have influence over literally harming people. So we want to talk. Yeah, I heard this just the other day of her career, and if you trace back and look at her positions she's held. So what about the full body detox? You want to share some of that with everybody?
I wish I could pull it up on here, but I can't. I'm on my phone today, so I can look at my computer. But I can talk about it, right?
Okay.
So I'm just going to give you an overview, and we can share the link down at the bottom after the, when the show comes back out.
Okay.
Or whenever you can share it. So just to give you an idea, a lot of doctors have detox protocols. A lot of them are giving you a protocol to take parasites out or to take metals out or whatnot. But the problem with a lot of these protocols that focus on one thing at a time is it can displace parasites. It can displace the metals, and they can end up in other parts or other organs in your body and cause other problems. So you want to do it in a particular order. You want to do it the right way. You want to have the correct binders and whatnot to catch it and get it out of your body the way it needs to be ridden of. So back to Dr. Group, because he's the one that I think has the best grasp on this. What he does is he sources his ingredients in natural. That's what he has committed himself, is to make sure it's all natural extracts from like plants, flowers, roots, whatnot. Very few, if any, side effects if you get the plants that actually do the work that God designed to do this. And it's amazing. You can find a cure for anything out there. You can't call it a cure legally because the government will not let the naturopaths call it a cure. Although now that there's less censorship, a lot of them are, discreetly saying, yeah, this will cure this or this will cure that. But legally, they can be held accountable by the corrupt parts of the government for saying cure with a natural product, because the only person who has a patent on that is God. Big Pharma can convert and manipulate anything and put a patent on it and collect the money on it. And it'll have all the side effects and, everything that'll lead to more and more drugs. And then they make more and more money. But that's the way they operate. But Dr. Group travels the world, like in Croatia right now. He's going and looking for the freshest. He calls it most energetic, because the more fresh, the more healthy, the better source of product he puts in or ingredient he puts in his products, the more effective it is, and the easier it is on your body. No side effects, and it actually does what it's supposed to do the natural way. So as far as full body detox order goes, you have to clean the exit routes first, your colon. You can't have stool sitting in there, because if you try to get rid of metal and it gets blocked in the colon, it's just going to reabsorb. Same thing with other toxins. When you kill parasites, a lot of ammonia, a lot of remnants from the parasites and whatnot are going to get blocked. So you have to clean the exit routes. So the first thing you cleanse in the full body detox is the colon, of course. Then the liver is the next thing. And if you don't have a liver that's working 100% efficiently, and a lot of people when they get older, they get fatty liver, even if they don't drink alcohol. Your liver, as you age, can get blocked up with all kinds of stuff. You can look at your liver enzymes, they'll elevate. And every time you do a liver detox, even with the best products out there, you're going to get about a 15% effective rate. So you may have to do it multiple times to get your liver cleaner and cleaner each time. So you want to get your liver in good condition. You want to get some labs done to see what condition your liver's in, to see how well it can handle the detoxing.
Do you know the names of the labs, Pamela?
ALT and ASTs. And it's been a while since I've looked at the abbreviation. It's
and STAT?
AST and ALT, and I'm sure there's a lot of other liver tests as well, but those are the two that come to mind right away.
Okay, so I don't want you to lose your train of thought, but I want to ask, well, go on, but don't go past the liver. And because I have a question.
Well, go ahead.
Okay, if you don't have a gallbladder and you don't have an appendix, everything gets dumped into the kidneys or the liver first?
Well, your liver gets to process it first.
Okay. So if you don't have those organs anymore, what are the chances? I mean, everything's in there then, and your liver's working really hard.
It is. And if you don't have a gallbladder, it's not going to work like it's supposed to. Mm-hmm. You just do your best. And you want to make sure you have a functional medicine or an integrative practitioner involved, especially if your system is not like it should be, or as it was originally designed, I guess you could say. Right. So you want to make sure if you have a special situation, if you have any kind of genetic disposition, like MTFHR, for instance, you want to make sure you have a specialist involved. I'm not a doctor, and I should say my disclaimer from the beginning. I'm just a nurse, or I'm a nurse. I wouldn't say just a nurse, because nurses do an awful lot.
Yes, you do.
We do. We educate, we coach, but I can't diagnose. I can do an assessment. I can't treat. I can make recommendations. I can't prescribe, but again, I can share resources. and help people help themselves, treat themselves. And when you're talking natural things, it's very easy to do because side effects are very minimal. But you got to know things like your liver function and what kind of gene defects you might have. A lot of our gene defects are from the damage that they've done to our bodies from air, food, water, injections. All kinds of things can cause you to have allergies and stuff that you might have. So anyway, you do have to get a specialist involved if you have a special situation.
Okay. All right. So, okay, we're moving on for the detox. First the colon, then the liver. And during the liver, just try to get, who would give you the labs or okay the labs? Would it be functional medicine doctor, or if you have a primary care physician, who would
Well, here's the
issue
problem.
labs? Mm-hmm.
Let me go back a little bit on this. So there are 3 different types of doctors, basically. You've got, sorry, I wish I had this in front of me. You've got allopathic, you've got functional medicine, and you've got naturopathic. Allopathic is what we're all used to in the hospital system, in the clinics and whatnot. They use primarily pharmaceutical drugs and synthetic things to supposedly fix you, but it just fixes your symptoms and most of the time causes other problems. One example of that would be like Tylenol. You know, it might cure your fever or your headache or whatever, or after surgery can help, you know, control some problems that you might have, but it's going to cause problems like interfere with your glutathione, which supports your immune system. It can, you know, it can cause you to get sick, believe it or not. It can hurt your liver, of course. Everybody has to be very, very careful with Tylenol. So that's an example of one of the drugs that they use. And this is over the counter. You would think it would be pretty safe, but it's even more deadly than, you know, most of the over counter and even some of the prescribed treatments. It's more deadly than a lot of those. So you got to be very careful. It's certainly a lot more dangerous than ivermectin. You know, we saw that all over the charts when we were first learning about ivermectin several years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They were comparing the deaths from Tylenol to ivermectin, and it was huge. There was very few with ivermectin, and you know, I don't know, 100 times. I can't remember the numbers, but they were extraordinarily different. And Tylenol was a lot more dangerous. So anyway, allopathic doctors. You just asked about testing. So in the mainstream, I'll just call them mainstream allopathic system, they have a different set of labs, different set of parameters, and there's a lot of labs that the naturopathic doctors will look at that allopathic doctors don't look at. And their parameters are different. They're often different. So, and they keep changing them. You know, the allopathic system will increase or decrease depending on what their goal is. If they want to get more people on statins, they're going to lower the cholesterol levels and say, oh, used to be 200, but now it's 150 or whatever. So we need to put you on statins, even though you know, a year or two earlier, oh, we wouldn't have put you on statins for the last 10 years, but now all of a sudden Big Pharma needs more money. So we're going to change the parameters.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how that works.
And statins will ruin everything for you. The people I know, they've just, their whole lives have changed. They're not as healthy anymore. It's terrible.
Yeah, they end up restricted to a chair. They don't have any energy, fatigue, swelling in their legs.
It's awful.
All kinds. And ultimately it turns into diabetes and failure, you know, a lot of system failure. So yeah, statins are dangerous. And there's good alternatives to statins. But again, you have to get a specialist involved. But I can give you suggestions to try if you're not on any drugs, but you still need to get monitored by your doctors to make sure you're not taking any risks. If you're on the big pharma drugs, you have to be careful getting off of them. So
yeah, if you can, this is the crime, is that the insurance companies don't cover functional medicine or naturopathic medicine. And those are the other 2 types that you mentioned. I haven't looked into Gold Care by Simone Gold.
Yeah, I think that's a PMA, a private medical association, so you pay a fee. And a lot of the functional and naturopathic doctors do offer that, or they join forces with other doctors in their field and do like a private medical, kind of like a concierge medical. You're familiar with concierge doctors. It's kind of the same thing, but most of the concierge that we used to know are allopathic, and I think a lot more of them are calling themselves functional or integrative or holistic or naturopathic. Those are the words you want to look for. One organization or one site that you can go to find someone in your area is IFM, And I think it's either independent or I think it's, shoot, I'll have to look that one up. Anyway, it's functional medicine, ifm.org. If you go in there and put in your zip code, you can pull up all the functional or naturopathic doctors in your area. Some of them specialize in things like the heart or the brain, or even liver and blood, so hematologists. So go in there, do a search, and find someone that suits what your health needs are. The FLCCC has a nice directory as well. It used to be the FLCCC, that you can still pull their site up with flccc.net. They have a directory of physicians that are like an integrative health. So it's going to be doctors that, the doctors on that site are more acute, dealing with really high level sick people. So there are some synthetic meds that they have to use to save people's lives. And then Dr. Merrick and Dr. Corey and the team have done some really deep dive on the research and the safety of these things. And they pull in the naturopathic things when they can to help people that have acute health problems. People that are on pharmaceutical drugs, they help them wean off of it. There's a lot of information on that website to learn. You can put in a search for whatever you're looking for on the site. I mean, they're now called the Independent Health, IMA Health, Independent Health Association, Independent Medical Association, excuse me.
It's okay. That is a good source for everyone.
It is. It's
and I didn't mean to distract you from our full body detox.
That's
what
okay.
comes after
now,
the
I
liver?
was just going to do an overview of the order of the system for the detox, and then we can go into details. Is that okay?
Yes, that's
okay. Let me see if I can find it again. Okay, here's the order. So we talked about the colon, the liver, the gallbladder, and then the kidneys, lymphatic system, lungs, skin, and brain. So that's the order you want to follow. So we talked about the colon being the largest exit site to prevent reabsorption. The liver is the main detoxification organ. It processes toxins from the blood. The gallbladder stores and releases bile to emulsify fats and eliminate toxins, so it works in conjunction with the liver, of course. Kidneys filter blood, remove water-soluble wastes through the urine. The lymphatic system transports cellular waste and immune cells. The lungs exhale what they call volatile organic compound, toxin gas, and carbon dioxide, of course. That's a toxic gas in our bodies. Skin is the final detox outlet via sweating. It's amazing how many toxins you get out through your skin. If you run and you sweat, you should wipe your skin, because there's a lot of aluminum coming out through your pores. Scientists have examined sweat and they see that pneumonia, whatever. There's a bunch of components that your body is able to sweat out of your body, or toxic compounds.
So, Pamela, if you know a runner, say these marathon runners, long distance runners, would you suggest something for them, because they're sweating probably for hours during their runs? Should they carry a small towel with them to just keep wiping themselves off?
Pour the water over themselves like you see them do.
Okay.
I mean, as long as you sweat is going to drip off anyway.
Okay.
A lot of it's going to absorb into their clothing, but
okay.
Yeah, your body's going to eliminate a lot of toxins that way, a lot of metals that way.
Okay.
As does detox baths, and we'll talk a little more about that later. And then your brain, after everything else gets flowing, you want to get your brain detoxed. And a good way to jumpstart a detox is fasting, of course. Everybody seems to have been talking about fasting over the last few years, which is huge, and that's natural. It's something that historically, back at the beginning of times, fasting is very effective at resetting our health. Your body can jumpstart producing new stem cells, regenerating good new cells, and getting rid of old debris. It stimulates your phagocytes and whatever else can take out the toxins. Dr. Suzanne Gazda is one of the experts with the FLCCC. If you listen to her talk, her specialty, of course, is the brain, and you have to do a pretty extensive detox, fasting detox, to get some of the debris out of your brain. So it'd be more than just a day detox. You'd have to do it longer, but you should do it with supervision if you have some health concerns. But a good book for extended fasting is Jason Fung's book. And then Dr. Merrick and team have gone through his book and many others and put a lot of good information about fasting on their website. So you can go on the IMA health site or flccc.net and put in the search word fast or fasting, and you'll see a ton of information. They got webinars and experts from all over the world that come on there and talk about it. Dr. Mercola is one of the key spokespersons for detoxing via fasting, and photobiomodulation is another way to heal your body, a natural way. The most inexpensive way, of course, going out in the sun, running, sweating, not eating for at least, 20, 30 hours, depending on how deep you want the fast to go and how much healing you have to do.
Wow. Okay. So I know that you thank you for that. Really, thank you. I hope people took notes. If not,
That's a
watch
cheap
this
one.
again.
Cheap
Watch
cure.
this again and then just get that down. Yeah, it's real important. We live in such a toxic world. We've talked about air pollution. We've talked about chemtrails, that are put out there deliberately. Another Mr. Gates funded project, spraying us with all kinds of deadly stuff.
Yeah.
In secret, not so secret, but there's constant denial.
Yeah, it's getting out there, thankfully.
So you took some time and you set out several products on your counter.
I did.
Okay, so you want to run us through those? We've got a good 30 minutes. Don't rush. Okay.
I can try to do it in the full body detox order as much as I can. I don't have everything out here, but I got some basics out here to help.
Okay.
So for the colon, we talked about that as the first main detox exit route. And one of the products there is, magnesium and citric acid. And Dr. Group, excuse me while I grab it. And I'm not trying to sell his products. I just have I love his products. I have a lot of confidence in his stuff. He gets about 3 offers a week to buy out his company because Big Pharma wants it so bad, or they want to shut him down. I'm sure they probably want to shut him down because he's a big threat. But anyway, the oxy powder is the product that works very well for that. But of course, he has a kit. Let me show you his kit. Just for fun.
Okay.
I'm sorry, my mother-in-law was panicking just before we started, and she wanted me to take care of everything, so I wasn't able to prepare.
I'm sorry. I know it's a challenge.
No, it's okay.
Thank you for still doing this because everybody benefits.
Of course. So we talked about the liver. So liver health, that's going to have your milk thistle and some other things in it. Beautiful ingredients. He gets, like I said, the best sources he can find with the most energy and the most effective with no side effects, basically. And turmeric. Those are 2 things that are very key in the liver, colon, cleanse, detox. And then olive oil. He's got a very high grade olive oil. It's not going to be just any olive oil you can do this with. You got to make sure you get the purest, what do they call it, cold pressed source.
Okay, so what do you do with those? You just take them like in capsules, or okay?
He's got a plan. It comes with this Healthy Liver for Healthy Life is the brochure, but he goes through it step by step. It's a 5-day program, and it talks about, let me see, it tells you what to do each step of the way. And on the 5th day, in the evening, you're going to be doing it's not that hard. It looks hard, but it's not that hard. So you're going to go through this process. I don't want to use up all the time on this, but just know you can go on his website and see it in details. They tell you what kind of foods to eat. And then they got a nice little schedule here where you can mark off things as you do them. And you're going to end up with a beautiful liver cleanse, colon cleanse, and everything at the end. So that's your good jump start right there.
Okay, so
comes in a nice little box like this.
Okay, so we order this, or we get all these ingredients. People out there, if you don't want to get his products, you can also look for the clean version, but you'll have to get individual items. You won't have things that are already designed for this particular cleanse. So, okay.
But he puts together plants and extracts that have the most effective result.
Okay.
It's so hard. Like, for instance, in that liver health product with the milk thistle, there's probably 5 or 6 other plants also incorporated there in the perfect portions to have the most the most beneficial effect. So Dr. Group, let me back up a little. This man has microscopes that cost over $500,000. Not many people have equipment like that. So that's a big benefit or a big bonus that and he's not alone, as you know. He's with Dr. Artis, Dr. Ely, Dr. Schmidt. Yeah, so it's Healing for the Ages, AGES. It's the four of them that run that group. And they're all part of the current administration, RFK's task force, the health task force. Wonderful. Doctors, scientists, they share a lot of great information together. And you can go on, I think they're on YouTube, Rumble for sure, maybe Instagram, and look for any of them. Dr. Artis and Dr. Group in particular do a lot of videos and educational things for free. You know, they do a lot for free trying to help save humanity, and they want people to share the information as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel comfortable doing this because the man's head is spinning trying to help fix what they can at the level at the top of our government. They've moved all the lawyers in from around the world. I'm talking about big pharma, the globalists have brought all these lawyers into DC, and they are at war, basically. So we have to help ourselves. And Dr. Group welcomes you to come to his site, and he shares as much as he can. And yeah, so it's really important. So the colon, we talked about that.
Okay.
Liver and gallbladder. Well, let me go back up real quick, make sure we didn't miss anything. So we talked about that last month. I think we pretty much covered everything last month on the colon. So as far as the liver and gallbladder go, I think he suggests you do at least 2 liver cleanses if you don't get your liver checked. 2 of them will help you, especially if you're younger. You'll get a good 30% cleanse. You know, if you've been hard on your body, your liver's probably going to need a lot more help, you know, than the average person that's pretty healthy and exercises. But you never know. You should get a test, get some labs done. But anyway, it includes things like liver Trex for what we talked about, the liver, excuse me. That was part of the colon cleanse discussion we just had. That kit does both that I just showed you.
Okay, so it does the colon and the liver?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, yeah, and I talked to you about the oxy powder and olive oil. Yeah, that's all part of the same thing. And we talked about that last month. Parasites would be the next step after you open the exit routes. And he's got a product called Paratrex, which has in it, if you want to get it separate, the black walnut hull, fungi. It kills parasites, fungi, and then wormwood kills worms and flukes. Clove kills eggs and larvae. You want to kill every stage of parasites because they'll just keep replicating if you don't kill every stage. So he's got this compilation in his Paratrex product that will destroy them over a 6-week period. And we talked about that last month too, so they can go back and replay to get the details on that. And probiotics at night are important to feed the good microbes. You know, as you're killing the bad ones, you want to feed the good ones.
Now, Pamela, as far as the all this, the parasite cleanse and all, a lot of people have biofilm in their body.
Exactly, that's part of it.
Okay, so that's part of that. Now, I've just been introduced to a tea called Cistus icanus. It's obviously plants, and it claims to break up biofilm. And my question was, okay, that's good, but don't you need a binder? Because once you break up the biofilm, you're disrupting where the parasites live.
Yeah, they can relocate, like we mentioned earlier. And yes, binders, he's got a product called Zeotrex, which is composed of zeolite and cilantro. So let me show you the zeolite. One of the zeolites that other doctors, I mean, he agrees that it's a great product too, I believe, but Dr. Tenpenny and many others recommend this Pure Body Extra. It's zeolite. I know there's been a lot of talk about zeolite, and there's been some products out there that aren't so good, but this is one that they've tested and they feel very confident that it's excellent. I actually contacted Dr. Penny because when I heard that people were saying zeolite was not good, I was like, hey, you know, this product on your site, you know, people say it's not good. She goes, well, this is an exception. This is an excellent product, and we have thoroughly tested, and I wouldn't put it out there if I didn't have a lot of confidence in it.
Okay, because I know Dr. Mihalcha, well, Dr. Mihalcha was scaring everyone, and I like her and everything. She's amazing, but she was telling everyone that zeolite was counteracting people who were trying to get rid of like the metals in their body. from
Well,
the
that's what this
spike.
does.
Okay, or the spike. Was it the spike? Maybe she was saying it didn't help, and it was interfering with people trying to get the spike out of their body or something like that.
Well, what
And it's confusing.
it is, and she encourages people to use things like the EDTA plus the vitamin C. So 5 grams or 5 to 8,000 milligrams of vitamin C, preferably ascorbic acid powder in the EDTA. So I'm showing you Artis's product, but Dr. Group also has an EDTA. So there are multiple great products out there. You got to buy it and source it from people that stand by their products, and those two gentlemen do. They don't want a bad reputation, so they make sure that they provide very well studied products to you.
Okay, so the zeolite is the binder.
The zeolite does bind a lot of metals, and it's actually from volcanic. It's nano-sized, creates a colloidal suspension, reaches throughout the body for an advanced cellular detox. It's suspended. It grabs it and takes it from your body. Let me see if I can see this up close. Yeah, it just says clinoptilite, zeolite on the bottle, but yeah, so it's got a long list of metals that it takes out of your body, and I have it on my site here. Let me see. Arsenic is one of the products it removes. Let me see.
Well, while you're looking it up, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay, so if we're going to break up the parasites, that was what you were talking about. To start getting those out at the different stages, larval, and because they grow in our body.
Right.
If we don't disrupt them, will the zeolite get them out, or like this tea that breaks up biofilm? How do I know it's coming out too? Not just having them move.
There's a variety of things you need to do, and if, like I said, that the video or the presentation we did last week covers it in more detail, but his site covers it even in more detail than that. But as far as getting it out of the body, not only is there zeolite and cilantro as an option, but fulvic acid crosses the blood-brain barrier and helps remove things. Let me see. Yeah, those are the two things that are recommended as far as I can see, as far as the parasite biofilm and other harmful organisms for that part of the cleanse. And again, go on his website. That will help clarify it even better.
Okay, so cilantro and fulvic acid.
Oxy powder is another.
Okay.
That removes waste and debris with the parasite cleanse.
Okay.
Now there's timing on this. You don't want to do it all at once. You got to wait so many hours, and then you got to remineralize, because a lot of these things will strip the minerals, some good minerals. It focuses primarily on the bad stuff you want out of your body, but some good things get dragged out too. So one of the doctors that I have, as you know, a high regard for is Dr. Tenpenny, and she recommends Cardio Miracle for remineralizing after you do like a heavy metal detox or something that's going to drag out minerals. Cardio Miracle is a great product. It's got so many wonderful ingredients in it. And I think we talked about this last week, how it was a product that was very popular amongst the airline pilots when they were having heart attacks, when they were being forced to get the shots. They were having heart attacks and strokes. And we were trying really hard to make sure that they were aware of this product, and it seemed to stabilize things. People were having a lot of emergency landings and whatnot during the rollout of the shots. It was a big deal. Maybe you didn't see it in public media, but we were seeing it.
No, and one of my husband's friends, her husband, who did long distance flights with United, he died. He had a heart attack while working out in Australia. So he didn't make it back to the States alive.
Sorry.
So yeah, it's a real thing. Very dark time in our history.
It certainly is.
Very dark time. Okay, so
you can remineralize, but that's not the only solution. There are some great remineralization recommendations. Again, you'll see a lot of that on his site or Artis's site, most likely, or Dr. Tenpenny's site as well. And even Dr. Lee Merritt. All of them have some great resources.
Okay. All right, so we're in the detoxing, excuse me, and binding. We're at the liver and
We just did
gallbladder.
the parasite.
Okay.
All right. Let's go on to, one thing I want to talk about is herxing, and we talked about this last week a bit. A herx reaction is if your body is loaded with parasites, and my computer's not working, but that's okay. If your body is loaded with parasites and you do a kill off, you could have what's called a Herxheimer reaction. And you're going to have symptoms like flu-like symptoms, fever, chills, nausea, vomiting, headache. You should take it slow. A lot of doctors recommend if you're doing like ivermectin for parasites, you take a smaller dose to start, like a 12 milligram, instead of diving right in with your body weight dose. Just do a little sample, kill off some parasites, I guess, and let your body adjust and then increase. So anyway, you can also hydrate, drink more water. You can slow down and adjusting the dosing. We just talked about that. Also, you can increase the binders, like we just talked about, and that'll help resolve the Herx reaction. But the good thing about Herxheimer reaction is it's working.
Okay.
So don't give up.
Okay.
Make some adjustments.
Yeah. Those are good things to know. So, all right. So you say ivermectin is a good thing to start
That's another
taking.
thing. If you want to use ivermectin, fenbendazole, mebendazole, albendazole, those are two products that they use in the military to handle parasites, because our military goes into some highly parasitic environments. And albendazole and mebendazole historically are things that they've used on our soldiers. So you don't hear about them so much, but you do hear about the ivermectin and the fenbendazole. And the ivermectin has a lot of mechanisms of action. It's a big deal. There's a lot of research on there talking about how effective it is, not only in helping people resolve flu, cold, most illnesses, like what we saw, even bio illnesses. But yeah, so I'm just saying there's a lot of options out there, and you may have a Herxheimer reaction, and just take it easy if you need to initially.
And know that's what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like me. I started with this tea, which breaks up biofilm. And when I asked about don't you have a binder? And how do you know it's working?
Right.
I didn't get a satisfactory response.
Yeah.
So even though I understand what this plant does, this Cistus icanus, be careful. It's not just a tea or a plant. These things they will really work. But like Pamela was saying, you may have these weird, for a while, feel not well. And what happened to me is I couldn't sleep all of a sudden, and that's not like me. So it seems evidently something was going on. So I need that binder now to get this, now that I've disturbed everything, get this stuff out of me. And
it's important to know that when you kill like surface, in your organs or your bloodstream or whatever, when you kill the intracellular parasites, a lot of people don't realize how tiny these things are. And you need these super expensive microscopes to see them. I mean, you have a blood cell this big. Whoa, what just happened? A thing came up on my phone asking me about adding hand gestures. Very weird. Anyway, you get a blood cell this big, and it'll be like a speck of sand, the parasite. You could not see that in a regular lab. Our labs are handicapped. They don't have the equipment to see stuff like that. And those parasites can get embedded deep into your tissue, like toxoplasmosis, for instance, gets deeply embedded in your brain tissue. And a lot of the things that affect our brains, they can't look at until you die, and they do an autopsy with high level equipment to see it. So anyway,
okay.
Fenbendazole is a very popular item that people are talking about these days. FenBen Labs is the company that most people are getting it from. I've gotten tons of this. If you try to order it through some of the online sites, they will confiscate that, as will.
So if you can't order it online, Pamela, where do you get it?
Well, I got mine online from FenBen Labs.
Right. I've tried, and I will tell people, sometimes your credit card company will not let it go through because it's coming from overseas.
I often have to call my bank and say, hey, let that go through, please. I bought that. I want it to go through.
Good tip.
When you order, you probably don't want to order big orders, because they'll confiscate those quicker than they will smaller orders. And when you do order the smaller orders, and I know this because I've talked to doctors that work directly with the administration, they say, make sure you tell the lab to put on there for personal use only. And then when they go to open it up and custom check it, if it says personal use only, they have less right to confiscate your shipment.
Okay.
Doesn't
Okay.
mean they won't. But those are things that are important to know. And most companies, when you call them and say, hey, I just got a message saying like I get messages saying this was confiscated in the port in Florida or wherever. I'll call the company like, oh, shoot, you guys see that? We'll send it back out and we'll repackage it smaller, two packages instead of one, and they'll send it back out for free. All Day Chemist has done that for me many times. There's plenty of other sources as well, but that one has been very reliable for me for all of this, 4 years that I've been using. It's been amazing. But this is a veterinary product typically. They don't want us to know it works really well in humans, of course.
Right.
But that and ivermectin also. Veterinary use only, but it works great in humans, and there's tons of research. I'm very well aware of it.
Yeah, and the fenbendazole, it's packaged and measured for humans. As I noticed, it was like 200 milligrams, and it tells you how to take it. And
one of the most common protocols is Dr. Mackis's protocol for curing cancer, even turbo cancer is what they call turbo. Something we never really had before, but it's like a stage 4 cancer sneaks up on a healthy person all of a sudden. Even in children, they're getting these awful cancers. But fenbendazole is part of the protocol. And typically the dose is 444 milligrams. This is a 444 milligram capsule, but you can also get 222, and you can, whatever protocol or whatever it is you're trying to treat, just, follow that dosing, do your research, of course. But that with CBD oil with, I don't have it in front of me, but it's like 4 things in Dr. Mackis's protocol that's working beautifully, mostly for like lung cancer. One cancer that I've been dealing with a lot lately, that people have been dealing with a lot lately, or I've been hearing about, is like esophageal cancer, and that's a really bad one. And I have a couple people recently that said they have it, and we're trying to see if that protocol plus some other things will work to help get that under control. Lung cancer is getting treated beautifully with the fenbendazole and the CBD and the other couple, curcumin, and what's the other thing? There's a 4th thing not coming to my mind right now. I should have put it in front of me. I could look it up, but it'll take some time.
Okay.
But anyway, that's just important to know. That's wonderful for that. Now, people are also learning about certain oils like oregano oil. Mm-hmm. This. You can get it in your health care stores. But it doesn't taste good. That and several of the other curing oils, they're wonderful. They don't taste good. I suggest getting a bag of capsules, empty capsules. This is from Solar Ray. These are the size 0s. You can take one of these little capsules, open it up. 1 dropper fits inside the capsule. Just show you real quick. And most of the doses are 1 dropper full. So you can take, I don't know if you can see it on the camera there, but you can fill up a capsule with 1 dropper. And there you go. You got a dropper full in this capsule. Close it up. You can swallow it down. Can you see that? Kathryn, did I lose you?
No, I took myself off so you could see it better. I want people to see the capsule. They don't need to see my face.
Yeah, I just licked it off my finger, and that's one of the biggest complaints I get is it tastes horrible. That and the black cumin seed oil. So I just suggest getting these beautiful little empty capsules, put a dropper full in there, swallow it down. You won't even taste it, and they have amazing curative properties.
That's really a good suggestion there. Very good. Okay. So can we move on are we at the kidneys or the lungs yet?
Oh, I get off track so easily. I'm sorry. We just finished parasites and herxing, the herxing reaction.
Yeah.
Now we're on to, and I have to throw the parasites and chemicals in here in between cleansing the organs. So now we're talking about chemicals, toxins, heavy metals, and nanotech. A big one.
Okay.
Really big. Because, that's where all the chemtrails and all this junk in our food and air and water come from. So metals and chemicals clog our detox pathways and damage our cells. After the parasite load is reduced, you got to get deeper cellular toxins out. So that's after the colon and liver cleansing. So that's what we're looking at now. We're talking about things like the Zeotrex, which is the zeolite and the cilantro. And then you've got other options like And what this does is it binds to lead, mercury, aluminum, graphene oxide, and then the cilantro mobilizes it from your tissues. Cilantro is amazing. It comes into play in many, many parts of the detox protocol. You know, you might have to grow your own to get a good version of it, or one
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
actually
a
effective.
non-GMO version.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
Bill Gates and the team have probably already caught on to that. Then you've also got humic and fulvic acid and shilajit minerals. They help transport toxins and cross the blood-brain barrier. So all that helps clean your body of these things, these toxins and metals and nanotech.
Okay.
And then iodine is something that Dr. Group talks about, supports your thyroid and pineal gland, displacing fluoride and bromide. Now that's something I wanted to talk to you about. A lot of people are concerned about the fluoride in the water, and most people know that you can't just filter fluoride and chloride out of your water, or chlorine. So you have to either do reverse osmosis, or you have to do additional filters like in a Berkey. Berkeys are expensive to begin with, and then you have to buy more filters to do the fluoride, and then you got to do it like every 6 months or something. My sister has one, and every time I hear her say, I got to buy more filters, I'm like, wow, that's hundreds and hundreds of dollars out the window. And I have this beautiful thing that's been working for 4 or 5 years, and it's just a simple countertop distiller. Can you see it?
Yeah, let me.
Can you see it okay?
Yes.
That's been a workhorse for me for since the beginning. I love the thing. It'll make 3 to 5 gallons a day for the family. I got everybody helping me fill it, refill it. I rinse it because we do so much water. You can't wash it every time. But when you rinse that thing in the sink, like clumps of gunk come out of there, and it's nasty. Some days my water smells like chlorine. Sometimes it smells like iron. Sometimes it smells like the septic. And thank God when it goes to the distiller, it's purified and clean. The only problem with the distiller is the pH is low. So the pH on that will be about 4.5. So then I have a pool. So I have this little pH test kit, and you get 5 mils of water in here. I'm not going to do it because it'll take a little time. I don't want to waste the time. 5 drops of the solution, and your pH will start out about 4.5. It'll turn orange, and after you put baking soda without aluminum in it, your pH will go up to 8.5, which is the blue. It's amazing, and it doesn't take much. I put a quarter of a teaspoon in a gallon, and it'll bring the pH from here to here. Huge difference, 4.5 to 8.5. And people that have cancer, one of the first things they do is raise the pH, make it more alkaline, because cancer does not like an alkaline environment, apparently. So, simple solution.
Okay, that's really helpful. Okay. So we need to clean up our water.
Yep.
And we need to add just a quarter of a teaspoon of non-aluminum baking soda. Is there a specific brand you can recommend for that? Because it seems Arm & Hammer does have aluminum.
You know, I thought that, and just today I pulled it up on ChatGPT, and I don't trust everything ChatGPT does, but if you beat it up enough and ask it the question in so many ways, you can pretty much get the truth. You have to know what to ask. And I was surprised at how much clarity I got on that, and it claims that it is a pure product. I don't know where people got the idea that it had aluminum in it, because it told me to call the company directly. It gave me the phone number. Of course, you can't probably trust them directly, so you have to do your own research.
Yeah.
And decide for yourself. And there are people who have done testing on other things like cereals, and they've been able to find metals in it. So, go online and see how you can find some metal in your baking soda and see if it is in fact pure. But typically I'll go to a different source, because I have been avoiding the Arm & Hammer brand because I had heard the same.
Okay. So what should we move to next? We have kidneys and lungs, or?
Oh gosh, back to the protocol, excuse me. So we talked about the chemicals, the iodine, the fluoride, and oh gosh, all the damage that's been done to our children's pineal gland with the fluoride. It calcifies their pineal gland. It takes a good, 20 years, 15, 20 years for it to calcify. But if you're doing a lot of fluoride in your water, it depends on where you live, of course. It's going to vary from place to place. And it was weird because my research group and I in the beginning looked at that, and some of the most populated areas had the highest fluoride levels in their water. And I don't think that was by mistake.
Mm.
You know, I thought that was very bizarre. Like there's parts of China where the population was really high and they had a lot of fluoride in the water. But then there's a lot of countries that don't have any fluoride in the water, none at all. They have beautiful teeth. You know, places like, I want to say it was like Norway or someplace like that, where they have great dental results or whatever you want to call it. Beautiful teeth and no fluoride. I can't remember. I have to look at the site again and get some more details on that for you. But it was surprising to me how many countries don't have fluoride at all in their water and they have beautiful teeth. So it's not necessary. But everybody, all the dentists will argue with you till the cows come home on that.
Yeah.
You don't want to swallow it. If you want to use it topically, maybe you can get away with that. But you certainly don't want to calcify your children's brains because it'll lower their IQ.
Wow. Okay, so we have a few more minutes. Lungs?
So on to the lungs. Okay, he's got a product that has lavage root, eucalyptus, peppermint, lungwort, lemon balm, and orange peel in it. And of course, you want good hydration and you want to breathe. Some exercise, steam inhalation with the eucalyptus and peppermint oil. Cayenne pepper, capsaicin is a good thing for detoxing your lungs. Box breathing is good for opening up the alveoli in your lungs and getting some of the toxins out of there. Then you've got foods that help clean your lungs, like garlic, onion, turmeric, of course, which is an anti-inflammatory. Dark leafy greens work for so many things. You can put cilantro in the dark leafy greens category, I think. That, along with like kale, which is one of the most nutrient dense plants, and some other things. And then there's exercise, of course, rebounding, which is jumping up and down either on a trampoline. You got dry brushing, which follows the lymph node chains, and that helps keep the lymph nodes open. Some people get swollen glands and you want to empty them, clear them out. Naturopathic, holistic practitioners can help instruct you on how to do that. There's probably a lot of videos online about that, about both of those things. So lymph flow is important in getting the toxins out of your body because they're going to drain through your head, the entire body. It's a drainage system to get toxins out. So you want your lymph system to be clean and clear. And your lungs. And then on to the kidneys, finally. Cranberry, horsetail, and goldenrod are the three things that are recommended for cleaning your kidneys. Lots of hydration, of course. Cranberry, everybody knows about. You want to get at least half your body weight in ounces per day when you're cleansing your kidneys, or any time really. You want to get plenty of fluid. Apple cider vinegar is a great detox for your kidneys. Lemon, you want some minerals to feed your body. Aloe, these are all details that you find us at. Lots of teas like juniper berry, uva ursi. Uva ursi is interesting. Horsetail, nettle leaf, marshmallow. There are things you can take when you have a bladder infection, like cranberry D.Min. You got to be careful with what condition your body's in. If you get older, you might have some problems, some dehydration issues, but it'll help flush your kidneys strongly. And then there's something called chanca-piedra that will break down kidney stones without having to go the allopathic route to do so with a lot of pain. There's natural ways to do it. And I have a lot of people that have switched over from I've had a lot of people come to me and say, I don't want to do the 2 drugs that they give you. I don't even know what they are anymore. It's been so long. But then I recommend that they do the uva ursi, and depending on their bladder problem that they have. Methylene blue is something they talk about at the FLCCC for bladder problems as well, for bacterial infections.
Okay.
A lot of elderly people can take it and clear themselves up. And you want to go on FLCCC and check the details on that. But I thought that was pretty fascinating.
Yes.
You don't have to be dependent on the antibiotics in the system for anything.
Oh yeah. No, that is really good, because that's what happens. A lot of the older generation loves just running over to the doctor, and then they give them a prescription and that's it. But they don't realize they're getting a bunch of added toxins into their body aside from on top of what they're taking.
Exactly.
So going to the flccc.net and looking up, what would they look up? Bladder, or because I know we're out of time, but
well, look up methylene blue and its uses, and then you can get words and go from there. I'm sure you can find a lot of information that way.
Okay.
And speaking
Pamela,
of methylene blue, that's another thing you can put in a capsule.
okay.
But do your
Oh.
research on that because it can be risky.
Instead of drinking all that blue stuff. Okay.
Right.
Pamela, I know you're so busy, and it's never long enough talking to you.
Sorry.
But I really appreciate everything that you do, and I know you have to run and take care of your mother-in-law. But God bless you, and thank you for all of this.
Of course, Kathryn. Thank you. And there's so much more. We could never run out.
I know. I know.
Unbelievable how much there is to know in the natural world. We don't have to be dependent on the system, which I absolutely love.
Me too. Me too. Okay. Well, I hope I get to see you in person soon.
I hope so too.
All right.
All right. Take care, Kathryn.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.